This is a Y Combinator mock interview. In the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna ask the 5 biggest questions a YC partner will ask you. Practice along with me. After each question, a timer will appear. Hit pause on the video, answer the question, and then see what advice I give. This is an actual live run through, no excuses. It's go time, let's do it. By the way, I'm Arjun Mahadevan, founder and CEO of doula.com, a YC-backed startup in New York City that's raised over $13 million. I've been in this exact hot seat before, which is why I want you to prepare and get you ready for this. Without further ado, let's start the clock and jump in. So, what are you working on? Okay, how did that feel? The thing is, that's the very first question that every partner asks in any interview. This is actually the only question that you can prepare for. So you can practice, pick one person if there's multiple, and one person needs to answer this as literally as possible. What I mean is do not use jargon saying you're transforming or revolutionizing an industry. Spell out exactly it is what you do. For example, with doula, I wouldn't say we are revolutionizing business formation. I would say we get you an LLC in all 50 states, an EIN, we set up your bank account and do your bookkeeping and taxes in one place for $3,000 per year. Again, the most common mistake here is using too much jargon or too many buzzwords. Don't state your grand vision to change humanity. Just state what you do with zero ambiguity. Question 2, what's your progress so far? Okay, this is now where you prove you're a doer, not a dreamer. The more specific, the better. Now, the formula for success here is lead with your most impressive metric. If you do not know your most impressive metric, well, red flag. You as a startup, and YC hammered this point home, need to have your key metric. That could be recurring revenue, it could be product usage, whatever it is, ideally it's revenue. That is your North Star, that is your most important metric. After that, you can in bullet point style follow with other metrics. So I'll give you an example. We have 1 million in annual recurring revenue. We're growing 10% week over week with 1,000 paying customers. That took 2 sentences, precision, numbers, leading with the most impressive metric. The most common mistake to avoid here is do not lead with a long story about how you met your co-founder and what you've been building. No, they asked you, how far along are you? Be precise. Get to the point. The interview flies by in 10 minutes. Lastly, you might be wondering, what if I don't have revenue? If you don't have revenue, you should ideally have product usage. If you don't have product usage, then you need to highlight how quickly you've been building, because YC wants to see you can move fast. Question 3, what is your unique insight? This is the why you question in disguise. Effectively, this is probing for founder market fit. Why are you the best person to solve this problem and to build this company? And what have you learned that is non-obvious? Effectively, YC wants to understand, why do you know this market and problem better than anyone else in the world? The formula here is really think, what is a non-obvious insight you've come across? And start with, we've discovered that, or the non-obvious insight is, and fill in the blank. I'll give you an example for doula. Our non-obvious insight is that we actually realized the buyer journey for international founders is backwards. For founders in the US, it's what's the name of my LLC, then forming the LLC, and then getting a bank account, and then bookkeeping, then taxes. But for international founders, it's flipped. International founders have more questions about taxes than they do about formation, but all the other alternatives were leading with formation. So we flipped the script. That was our non-obvious insight that we learned from talking to customers. Common mistake here is don't just describe the market. Really sit down and think, what is non-obvious? You really want the partner to walk away thinking, I learned something new from that answer. And here's the harsh truth. If you don't have a unique insight, you might not have done enough research, or you're not truly doing something that is non-consensus enough. And the reason why that's an issue is if it's not non-consensus enough, if other people are doing the exact same thing, competition will be fierce. That doesn't mean you can't succeed, but the idea with this unique insight is you have a secret that you are in on before the rest of the world knows. Question number 4, and how do you plan to get users? How will you get your first 1,000 customers? YC partners here are testing, do you have a concrete plan to acquire customers? Because at the end of the day, remember, most companies don't die because they failed to build the product. Most companies die because they fail to repeatedly acquire customers at a low enough customer acquisition cost. Say that 4 times. In summary, the key is you need to have a plan to acquire customers. The formula here is describe as tactfully as possible what your repeatable process is. So for a doula, for example, I would say a third of our acquisition is through Google paid ads, search-based intent, how to start LLC in the US. A third of our acquisition is through channel partnerships with communities, courses, and influencers who teach people how to start a business on Shopify. We give them a commission. And a third of our acquisition is through word of mouth. Founders know founders. We build a great product. They tell their friends. Short, crisp, precise, to the point. And again, the common mistake here is to be too broad. Be specific. You notice how I named the channels, but I went one level deeper. I didn't just say Google Ads, I gave the keyword. I didn't just say partnerships, I talked about the type of partnership or community with Shopify. And I didn't just say word of mouth, I said why it works. I said founders know founders. Question 5, who are your main competitors and why are you different? This is a test of your market knowledge and confidence. Never say you don't have competitors because you always will have competitors. The formula here is name exactly the top 1 to 2 competitors, then state your key differentiator in one sentence. State your right to win or why you're different. So I'll give you an example. A lot of people ask, what about Stripe Atlas, which is a phenomenal company, by the way. Anyone helping entrepreneurs, rising tide lifts all boats, I'm in full support of. But the way we're different from Stripe Atlas is Stripe Atlas focuses on venture-backed C Corps. We focus on solopreneurs or LLCs. Stripe Atlas offers formation. We offer more downstream services like bookkeeping, taxes, and e-commerce analytics for Shopify entrepreneurs versus a broad-based solution for tech or venture-backed founders. Name the competitor, name your differentiator in one clear sentence. Do not say you don't have competition. Here's the truth. If you don't want competition, you shouldn't leave your room. You should stay inside all day and you definitely shouldn't start a startup. There will always be competition in a space where there's an opportunity to build something cool for customers. And that's time. There we go. I hope you actually press pause on the video. You can also go back, restart the video, and actually practice these questions again. Practice makes perfect. And again, here's what I'll say. I've done a separate video on the 3 biggest things to do in a YC interview. And the 3 biggest things, again, just to summarize, are know your answer to that first question, know the 3 things that you want to share in the interview no matter what, because time's going to fly, and being concise, avoiding jargon and buzzwords, and answering the question directly. By the way, here's a little Easter egg. If anyone watching this video actually gets a YC mock interview, I want to pay it forward. So if you've made it this far and you've gotten a YC mock interview, you can email me. It's arjun@doula.com saying, hey, I've got a mock interview and I'd love to do a mock interview with you. I hope this video doesn't go too viral because then I'll be doing a lot of mock interviews. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications. I'd love to put out more content that provides value and hear your feedback. Also, if you yourself are applying to YC or scaling a business, please schedule a demo down below. I'd love to see if Doula can be a part of your journey and take care of your back office so you can focus on what you do best while Doula handles the rest. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Lastly, as a bonus, I've included down below the list of 50 plus YC questions. This is a free guide. It popped in a Google Doc. You can check it out down below. This video went through 5 key questions, but if you really want to practice with more questions, you can check out the Google Doc link below. That's a wrap. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.